I am taking the medication called Seroquel. I'm taking 50 milligrams. Um, my doctor said it's for my moods, right? Well, um, it's the first time I took it. I took it last night, and the what I noticed is that I woke up feeling like there was no fog there. Usually, there's a fog every time I wake up, right? I was diagnosed with BPD and bipolar 2, right? The second type of bipolar, not the first kind, right? So this is a medication I finally got after so much years. So, and it's the first time I took it, and it's Seroquel. And I woke up without the fog that I usually wake up with every morning. And I went to bed really sleepy because I took a calms with it because I usually take calms to go to bed. It gets me a little drowsy and that helps me to slip into my sleep. But this time I took it with the 50 milligrams of Seroquel and one calms, and I slept so well. Then I woke up. I'm not sure what time I woke up, if it was early morning or what, but it was still dark. And my entire body, it felt like I could feel the anxiety. Usually, I feel anxiety on the tips of my fingers a lot. Um, but this anxiety was like the feeling of that, but like in my whole arms and chest area and everything. Um, I had to. Well, I'm learning this thing in this book here, The Greatest Secret that I painted. Right. I'm learning how to use like different techniques, like mindfulness and DBT and stuff to kind of get yourself. So I'm using the medication now. Before, all I had was like these techniques I used to my mind, right? And one of the techniques I learned was something called welcoming, right? Which is like you open your arms and you welcome all the feelings, all the negative feelings that you're suppressing, just welcoming it in and allowing yourself to feel where you have to feel and then releasing it. When you feel something fully, it goes away. And once you allow yourself to feel it, it releases itself. So I'm learning about welcoming, right? So when this happened to me, where the anxiety felt like it was like a snake moving it in my arms, my body, um, I was like, you know what? Let me welcome it and see what will happen to the feeling that going in on in my body, right? Because it felt like anxiety, and I wake up to this, right? Like late, and then I open my arms. I was like, okay, let me just get this over with. And I felt it. Like, it felt like my body and my spirit kind of was like, normally it's be like this, but it felt like this. I felt like a separation of it. And when I felt the separation of it, when I welcome it, right, I feel the separation of my anxiety and my normal calm body. And it was tickling, man. Like my whole body was like tickling. Like I would feel this like energy vibrating on top of each other, right? So there are other things, like factors you could think of it being, uh, like, yeah. What I think it felt like to me, my perception of it feels like the medication is finally it's like getting used to the body. I guess because my body haven't taken any medication on this level of it's an antipsychotic and a mood stabilizer. And these medication they work with the brain, so you know recalibrating all the chemicals. And this morning, when well that happened, and I end up sleeping back pretty well after a while. And I'm getting up, I think, and then going back to sleep. But when I woke up this morning and I got out of my bed, it was like a whole new world. The fog that is normally be there that keeps me in bed and keeps me like, "Ugh, I don't want to go on this day anymore." on the ride of adventure. And then it would take me like hours and hours of doing things here and there and there and there to make me to feel a bit more awake. And I wake up awake this time. And when I was like, okay, usually I feel the fog for real long, so that's why I just can't eat anything, and I don't want to. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be pressed in my house. And this time it was different. I just passed through, cleaned my room, just like it was like a subconscious thing. Like, when you're driving your car and you don't know you're driving your car until you reach a place, like, oh shucks, I cleaned my room like that. I wasn't dissociated. It just I just did it because I wasn't feeling the fog, right? So like I just was every time I go to dissociate, I wouldn't dissociate. Like I would just be like I'll be there. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I'm not completely dissociating. Usually my dissociation is like the fog is what the I feel like the fog is the dissociation at this point of talking, because when I dissociate is it does become a fog and I be at the back and I be watching through the lens of it, right? And right now I'm so grateful to not wake up feeling that way anymore. You know? I'm I know I needed medication. Somehow I knew. It was just this fear blocking me, like, oh no, what if this medication does like all the rest of medication? What if it doesn't work? Because I went on Lorozepam, I went on Zoloft, I went on fluoxetine and some other stuff like um I was using, but they never worked with me. They just numbed me out. Like, look at me right now. I'm talking, right? But I'm talking from this excitement and happiness of having the ability to wake up in the morning, being able to wake up and to not dissociate and to not overthink the amount of overthinking I just be overthinking. I don't know. I thought I had to fix something in my brain, like fix something that I was doing wrong with my thinking, right? I was thinking something wrong. But this time is actually I needed to actually get something in my brain to help me to re-regulate all these chemicals that I can't do with just thinking. There's actual biology going on in there that you could help yourself if you can't find the thoughts to help yourself, because I believe that our creation and reality does come from like it, like from the quantum realm and from our beliefs and from what we vibrationally create. I believe it's all there, but like I also believe that you, me, growing up the way I grew up and having what I have, I do have a lot of limiting beliefs, and I believe that getting this medication was a overcoming of a limiting belief, which was that um the limiting belief was that I have to fix my mind in order to fix my body, and I have to do it this way. That's the limitation. Me going and getting the medication, getting what I needed to get, actually my brain being having BPD, having bipolar 2 is not easy to deal with. It's not. And it's like any other sickness, you take a supplement. And how I looked at this was like, this is going to be my placebo. I'm going to take this medication. It's going to help me, and I'm going to get results with this. I am. I'm going to. And I took it as a placebo, and I am getting results. I'm getting results, and I love it. And this is it. My medication. It's there. I take half of one last night. It's a pink tablet, Seroquel. And this is 1 week supply. I'll be getting the next week's supply um next week, obviously, when this finish, and then I go back in and get my prescription refilled. But this is day one, and I am recording what's going on. I don't really have much information on the medication. I am aware that it helps with your mood stabilizing and your psychotic. Well, for me, it's like being psychotic is basically a real fancy word for losing it. You know, not being able to handle the emotions, being overwhelmed. Like, I make sure and let him know how overwhelmed I was and am, and the situation I'm living in, and not being able to do anything about it. And being in this situation is just so fucked, you know? So, like, I wanted him to understand the overwhelm I was feeling. And this medication, Seroquel, I only took it once, and it feels really good, and I want to put that note down, and I will be making more videos about the upgrades of how I feel or the downgrades of how I feel. And again, this all this medication is a placebo, and it actually helping because I welcome in the help that it has for me. So yeah, you see, like that is how I would like apply the mind thing. Like when I'm stuck and I'm like, oh gosh, medication, this medication, that it helped me. Not. There's only one time I take it. Why am I being so cool about this? Because I never felt this way in so long. I've never woken up where there was no fog in such a long time that I'm so grateful and excited and happy to see where I go with this treatment and see how my life would change. You know, I have space to do more things because the fog isn't there and my energy stays here. I think the fog that I call the fog, is actually dissociation. I feel that way because like every time I dissociated, I feel like I end up fog and it just be this this separation from me, my experience, who I is, what I'm doing, I talking, but I'm not connected to what I'm saying. It's beautiful to feel like I in one again. And yeah, I also take a placebo, which is also a vitamin. I call all medication placebos, even though it's actual, like if you put in chemicals in your body. I still feel and believe that our thoughts and creation, if we can find the direct focus point on where it happening, you know, like how quantum physics tell you, like how only on your observation then the particle is formed. Like that is where I want to go, you know, deep down to that level and then be able to create from there. It's kind of like I want my life's work to be that. Because so far I've been spending 4 years researching and doing all in hopes to remove that fog and to find a way to actually do that on my own, live good, blah blah blah, mental illness, la la da la da 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 da, the way I grew up, it's just everything in one, and then me trying to find my purpose. My purpose being the research of consciousness and testing things for myself and going forward. And right now, I think I'm doing really good because I'm making this video. I had a lovely breakfast this morning. I read, I did some writing, I cleaned. It's like I'm able to hold myself in a higher light and not be condescending on myself anymore. I mean, it's a process, and right now I'm doing good, and it is okay to express yourself and to say what you have to say and to be who you have to be because that's the only way forward. My ideas on medication might be different from yours, and my ideas on thoughts and law of attraction and all of these new things on spirituality that's coming out might be different from yours, but it's okay. We all here, and one thing we're doing is we're doing it together. We all evolving together. We might evolve into weird different things, or we might all look differently within our evolution. But that's the cool thing about it. We're not tuning from like human into something else. We just have humans expressing our evolution in our own unique way, and this is mine. So I hope you enjoyed this video on my Seroquel journey. It's going well, and Yeah. Peace out, BPD baddies, bipolar baddies. I don't have bipolar 1, I have bipolar 2, and it's two different things, okay? Don't get that mixed up. And I'm not really sure about my diagnosis. I really think I should go get re-diagnosed and I should get it done sooner than later. But this medication is working. So, peace out.